Good morning, everyone. My name is Insia Fatima Alwani, and today I am going to present about John Keats as a poet. Here is my personal information biography. John Keats was one of the great English poets of the Romantic Age. Keats was born on 31st October in 1795 in England. He died at the age of 25, but he had a most remarkable uh, poet of the English literature. He also wrote sonnets, odes, and epic poems. He published only 54 poems in three slim volumes and few magazines. His father was died when he was 8 years old, and after the death of his father, his mom remarried. And but after some years, she was also died cause of tuberculosis. Education and influence. He studied at the Boys' Academy at Enfield and trained at Guy's Hospital to become a surgeon. Keats was not a literature student; he was a medical student. But he today he is known as the most famous poet and remarkable questioner of that time. Keats' love for literature began in Clark's school. At school, he read widely, won prizes, and began translating Latin and French. Clark encouraged him to turn his energy and curiosity to the library. He was the very close student of the headmaster John Clark. He read so many books in his school time, and he won the literary competition also. And John Clark was himself. He was a friend of writers like Joseph Pilsteri and others. He loves reading poems and the work of Edmund Spenser. His career as a poet. In 1860, his poem called O Solitude published for the first time in a magazine, The Examiner. In 1817, he published a book, Poems, his epic poem Endymion, published in 1888. During 1888 and 1890, Keats continued to write great poems, including Ode to Nightingale, Ode to Autumn, and etc. Major themes of his poem: nature, beauty, imagination, mortality, melancholy, and death. These are the major themes of his poem. Nature is one of the great source of inspiration for the kids. He write about love and pain both in his poetry. He also called as a poet of beauty, and his imagination, mortality are also reflected in his poem. Writing style of Keats. In Keats' poem, all the scenes are neating, organic as well as visual and auditory. In accordance with Wordsworth, Keats lists as an axiom that if poetry comes not as naturally as the leaves to the tree, it had better not come at all. His poems have a little concern with contemporary social and political events. Keats' odes are written with the principle of artistic economy, infinite riches in a little room. His poem reflects his personal life and his personal life problems and the pain also. His famous poems: Fancy, Ode and Grecian on to Lord Byron, and these are his famous poem. Ode and Grecian on he is a very famous poem of him, and this is a philosophical poem. This poem discuss about the links between art and humanity. To Lord Byron, this is a poetic message from poet to poet. In this poem, he write about Lord Byron, and this poem he wrote at the age of 19. La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. This is the most famous poem by Keats. This poem's known for its melodic verse and bleak rhyming scheme also. To sleep, uh, for John Keats, sleep is a snapshot of the death, and in this poem he put a statement that why uh, God control the life of Keats to Ottoman. In this poem, he put argument to all humankind that accept the death as a natural part of human life and find a beauty in death. In Ode on Melancholy, in this poem, he tells about how to deal and how to not deal with the deep sadness. These poems reflected the sadness, beauty, and all his major themes. And this is a very famous poem of John Keats. Conclusion. In 1820, Keats fell ill with tuberculosis. He went to Italy in the hope that the warmer climate might improve his health. John Keats died in Rome on 23rd February in 1821. Keats was buried in the Protestant cemetery. This is my citation. Thank you. Now, if you have a question, then ask.
Insia, how Kate's life reflect in his works?
He lost his parents in a early age, and the death and sadness are reflected in his poem.
Insia, my question is that which John Keats poem like you most and why? My question is that which of John Keats poem like you most and why?
Poem to him, I like on the he argument that in this poem he argument that why God control the human life, and it's my favorite. Thank you.